Spec sheets don't tell the whole story. Anyone with deep pockets can buy a 400 horsepower land yacht, drop their foot on a straight highway and pretend they're a real driver. But what happens when the highway ends and the road actually twists? What happens when you drop 3 gears, pitch the car into a blind hairpin, and need the chassis to communicate directly through the steering wheel, the pedals and the base of your seat? Today we are ranking the top 10 sports cars under $50,000, not by internet bragging rights or quarter mile times, but strictly on raw and filtered driver feel. We are dissecting the exact engine configurations, the horsepower figures, the torque in Newton meters, the top speeds in kilometers per hour, and the real world price tags in US dollars. Every single car on this list earned its spot by how much joy and mechanical feedback it delivers when you push it to the limit on a winding back road. Welcome back to Revlord, where we roar with authority. Let's dive into the ultimate driver's countdown. Number 10. Nissan Z, base model. On paper, the revival of the Nissan Z is an absolute muscle-bound bargain for the modern era. That twin-turbocharged 3-litre V6 dumps a staggering 475 Nm of low-end torque, straight to the rear wheels, shoving you flat against the seat bucket the moment you squeeze the throttle. On a highway, on-ramp or in a straight line, it feels explosive, loud and nostalgic. However, the moment you throw the base C hard into a sequence of technical S-bends, the illusion starts to fade. The stock suspension tuning feels noticeably soft and floaty when loaded up under heavy lateral G-forces. Worse yet, the electric power steering system filters out the exact road texture you need to hunt down an apex with surgical confidence. It isolates your hands from tire scrub, meaning you have to guess how much front-end grip you have left. The 6-speed manual option is a welcome touch, but the clutch pedal feel lacks a distinct engagement point. The Z is a rapid, comfortable and stylish grand tourer that looks incredible in your driveway, but a lack of chassis feedback holds it back at number 10. Number 9. Toyota GR Supra 2.0 and used 3.0. The Toyota GR Supra is a double-edged sword in the world of modern drivers' cars. Under $50,000, you can drive off the lot in a brand new 2-litre 4-cylinder or hunt down a clean, lightly used 3-litre 6-cylinder model. The BMW source B58 engine in a 3-litre is an absolute masterpiece of modern engineering, pushing up 500 Nm of torque with zero turbo lag, and pulling relentlessly all the way to redline. The front end darts into corners with zero hesitation, biting into the tarmac with violent precision. The short wheelbase gives it an eager, point-and-shoot nature that makes it feel alive on smooth asphalt. So why is it down at number 9? Because the steering rack feels entirely digital. It behaves almost like a force feedback wheel on an expensive racing simulator, rather than a pure mechanical connection. You know the front tires are holding the road because the chassis stays planted, but your hands are not receiving genuine road texture through the rim. The cabin also feels cramped, and helmet clearance on track days is notoriously tight for taller drivers. It is an undeniably fast, capable and tunable platform, but it prioritizes raw grip over pure analog feedback. Number 8. Ford Mustang GT S550 and S650 generation. Winding a naturally aspirated 5-litre Coyote V8 out to its screaming 7,500 RPM redline is an experience that instantly cures a bad day. With 480 horsepower and 562 Newton meters of torque at your disposal, the Mustang GT offers an unbelievable amount of theoretical brilliance for under $50,000. The quad-tip exhaust roars a pure American authority down every open tunnel, and the manual gearbox gives you a notched, heavy shifter action that demands physical effort. When you stomp on the gas pedal in second gear, the rear end squats and the car charges forward with intoxicating momentum. However, when you leave the dragstrip behind and tackle a tight mountain pass, physics rears its head. At roughly 1,700 kilograms, you never forget how much metal and glass you're hauling around. You feel all that 5-litre V8 mass sitting heavy over the front axle, requiring deliberate trail braking to keep the nose pointed toward the corner exit. If you overcook an entry, the front tires will scrub and push wide before the rear breaks free. It is a noisy, sliding, grunt-inducing muscle car, but it lacks the agility required to rank higher on a list built purely on chassis finesse. Number 7. Chevrolet Camaro SS 1LE track package. Do not make the amateur mistake of calling the Camaro SS 1LE a simple drag racer. This car rides on General Motors' world-class Alpha chassis, paired with hyper-intelligent magnetic ride control dampeners that scan the road surface 1,000 times per second, with a massive 617 Newton meters of torque peaking at 4,400 RPM alongside 455 horsepower from its 6.2-litre pushrod LT1 V8. This machine moves with brutal efficiency all the way to 290 km per hour. For a used price between $38,000 and $46,000, the front-end grip provided by the wide 1LE tyre setup is mind-blowing, allowing you to carry corner speeds that will humiliate sports cars costing double its price tag. The steering is heavy, razor sharp, and communicates front tyre load straight into your palms. You can adjust your cornering line effortlessly using the throttle pedal, using that 617 Newton meters of V8 torque to balance the rear end on exit. So what holds this truck monster back from breaking into the top 5? The interior ergonomics and abysmal outward visibility. Sitting inside a Camaro feels like wearing a combat helmet with the visor pulled down. The high beltline and narrow gun-slit windows severely restrict your view of the road. On a tight, unfamiliar back road, that lack of visibility dampens your overall confidence when placing the tyres near the yellow line. If you can look past the cabin claustrophobia, it is one of the most capable tractors ever built in America. Number 6. BMW M2 F87 generation. Forget the newer, heavier, digitalized M cars. The original F87 BMW M2 is a rowdy, short-wheelbase street fighter that captures the old-school M division spirit for the $35,000 to $42,000 used. Under the wide muscular hood sits the N55 turbocharged 3-litre inline-six, delivering 365 horsepower at 6,500 RPM and 465 Nm of torque, with an overboost function bumping it to 500 Nm between 1450 and 4750 RPM. While purists often argue over the later S55 powered competition model, the original N55 engine actually sings a much sweeter, throatier and less raspy exhaust note up to its top speed of 250 km/h or 270 km/h with the M driver's package. The real magic of the F87 lies in its stubby widened proportion set and active mechanical M rear differential. Because the wheelbase is so short, the car rotates instantly around your hip the second you toss it into a turn. The rear end stays playfully hyperactive, constantly threatening to break into smooth controllable slides if you get greedy with your right foot. The electric steering tuning is surprisingly heavy and direct, giving you a clear picture of what the front subframe is doing under stress. It forces you to stay completely awake, engaged and active behind the wheel. It is mechanical, loud, aggressive, and gives you a genuine M-car experience well under the $50,000 budget. Number 5. Honda Civic Type R, FL5 generation. Ignore the drivetrain snobs who insist that real sports cars must be rear-wheel drive. The FL5 Civic Type R is a masterclass in chassis tuning that thoroughly redefines what front-wheel drive is capable of accomplishing. Under the vented aluminium hood sits a 2-litre K20 C1 turbocharged engine, cranking out 315 horsepower at 6,500 RPM and 420 Nm of torque from 2,600 to 4,000 RPM, hurtling it to a top speed of 272 km/h. Lightly used examples sit right between $44,000 and $49,000, and that money buys you what is arguably the single best 6-speed manual shift mechanism on the planet for under $50K. Every shift feels like a crisp bolt-action rifle, snapping into place with machine accuracy. Honda's innovative dual-axis front suspension layout completely deletes torque steer under heavy acceleration, meaning the steering wheel never tugs wildly in your hands when you drop the hammer. The Alcantara-wrapped steering wheel feeds pure unfiltered road texture directly to your fingers, allowing you to sense tire temperature and grip limits instantaneously. You can throw this car into a turn with total violence, hit the gas early, and watch the Helico mechanical limited slip differential claw into the pavement to pull you through. It is surgical, practical, absurdly fast, and offers shifting mechanics that every car company on earth should copy. Number 4. Porsche Cayman or Boxster 981 generation. Mid-engine architecture, a naturally aspirated flat-six engine howling directly behind your head, up to a spine-tingling 7,800 RPM redline. A chassis balance so perfectly poised that it feels like an extension of your own nervous system. The 981 generation Porsche Cayman and Boxster represent a golden era of sports car development, trading used between $40,000 and $48,000. Whether you choose the 2.7-litre with 275 horsepower and 290 Nm of torque reaching 264 km/h, or the 3.4-litre pushing 315 horsepower and 360 Nm of torque up to 277 km/h. This car flexes engineering perfection over raw drag numbers. The pedal placement is calibrated so flawlessly that heel-toe downshifting becomes second nature within 5 minutes of driving. Because the heavy engine sits right in the middle of the vehicle, moments of inertia are minimized, allowing the car to rotate gracefully around your spine through mid-corner bumps. The steering feedback is light, communicative, and utterly linear, while the brake pedal feels as solid as a block of granite under hard deceleration. It offers an organic, unhurried, sophisticated level of feedback that makes modern, overboosted performance cars feel completely unrefined by comparison. Number 3. Chevrolet Corvette C7 Z51 Performance Package. Taking the bronze medal on our list is a legendary C7 Corvette Z51, sitting comfortably at between $42,000 and $49,000 on the used market. This machine combines exotic front-mid engine proportions with traditional American V8 muscle, with the rear-mounted transaxle balancing out the heavy 6.2-litre LT1 V8 up front. The C7 boasts a perfect 50-50 front-to-rear weight distribution, pumping out 455 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, and a massive 624 Nm of low-end torque at 4,600 RPM. It accelerates out of corners like a fighter jet being launched off an aircraft carrier deck, all the way to its 290 km/h top speed. When you load up the front suspension in a fast sweeper, the steering bite is immense, giving you total clarity on how much lateral grip remains in those massive front tyres. The dry sump oiling system, electronic limited slip differential, and magnetic ride control suspension make the Z51 package fully tracker ready straight out of the box. You can dance this car on the edge of adhesion, catching tiny slides with minimal risk corrections while listening to that push-rod V8 roar at full tilt. It gives you genuine supercar presence, relentless top-end speed, and raw mechanical feedback for a used sedan money. Number 2. Subaru BRZ TS Toyota GR86. Spec Street keyboard warriors love to make fun of 228 horsepower at 7,000 RPM, and they completely missed the point of true sports car engineering. For a brand new price tag between $32,000 and $38,000, this 1,270 kg chassis featured a 2.4-litre F87 Boxster engine, mounted incredibly low in the subframe, giving the GR86 and BRZ TS an absurdly low center of gravity. The electronic power steering rack is tuned to perfection, telling your hand the exact moment the road surface changes from smooth tarmac to coarse gravel. Because you aren't managing 500 unmanageable horsepower, you can pin the throttle to the floor and exploit 100% of this chassis capability, up to a 226 km/h top speed, without putting a driver's life in immediate jeopardy. The torque dip from the previous generation is completely gone, replaced by a punchy 250 Nm that hits early at 3,700 RPM and pulls smoothly to the red line. The pedal calibration, short shifter throw, and now a rear tyre setup allow you to practice weight transfer, trail braking, and power slides with complete safety and control. It is an unadulterated, highly accessible momentum car that teaches you how to become a better driver every single time you push that start button. Number 1. Mazda MX-5 Miata, ND3 generation. The undisputed crown for ultimate driver feels goes to the undefeated featherweight king, the ND3 Mazda MX-5 Miata, priced fresh off the showroom floor between $30,000 and $38,000. Weighing in at an astonishing 1,080 kilograms, this car proves a timeless fundamental truth. Low mass beats high horsepower every single day of the week, with 181 horsepower hitting at 7,000 RPM and 205 Newton meters of torque at 4,000 RPM. You have to work for your speed on the way to its 219 km per hour top speed, shifting the legendary short-throw manual gearbox with quick wrist flick movements. The throttle response from the 2-litre naturally aspirated engine is instant, allowing for micro adjustments to your speed mid-corner. You feel the exact millisecond the weight shifts over the outside rear tyre, telling you precisely how much grip you have left before the tail steps out. You don't need dangerous high-risk speeds to feel like a complete hero behind the wheel. The ND3 provides a direct, unassisted and pure connection between your hands, your feet and the tarmac that no heavy twin-turbocharged digital tech barge can ever duplicate. It is the purest expression of driving joy, available on the market today at any price. Power looks impressive on internet spec sheets, but lightness, chassis balance, and manual controls are what make you fall deeply in love with the drive. Which one of these 10 driver-focused machines would you park in your dream garage for under $50,000? Make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed this detailed breakdown. Hit subscribe to join our growing automotive community, and comment down below your favorite sports car. This is Revlord, where we roar with authority, and I'll see you in the next one.